The popularity of vinyl records continues to grow despite the dominance of streaming services. Is it time that the World Wide Web and email had its own renaissance? At first, when I heard that people were buying vinyl again, it seemed quaint and fun, but held no interest for me. I had a large CD collection that I'd ripped to digital files to listen to on an iPod and my computer. And like, why would I want to store all this physical media at my house when you can't make playlists? You can't easily skip between tracks. And the argument that it sounded so much better didn't really make up for those convenience trade offs for me. But as the popularity of vinyl has only increased, one benefit has kind of changed my mind. Vinyl lovers say that it improves your experience of the art. It improves the experience of the music you love because the physical interaction slows down the process a bit and helps you focus on the music. You can't skip to the next track the second you kind of get bored with the one that's playing. And in that way, vinyl helps focus your attention rather than fracture it. Um, and also the physicality of the vinyl, taking it out of its sleeve, putting it on the turntable, dropping the needle, and sitting with the music until it's over, is really compared to the sort of algorithmic experience of streaming. It's basically a sacred ritual. Unlike WhatsApp, messages, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch, etc., nobody owns email or websites. The basic communications protocols that underlie email and the web, TCP/IP and HTTP, these protocols are non-proprietary, and that matters. You could set up your own email and web server in your own house and with a modest amount of technical knowledge and a cheap computer. If that's above your technical abilities, getting your own domain name and email address through an internet service provider isn't that much harder than setting up an Instagram account. And it's fairly cheap. Where I am in Canada, there are a number of ISPs that offer web hosting and with a free email address at an incredibly low cost, including security and WordPress built in and more. And of course, there are a number of email providers like Proton and others that provide free email not attached to one of the big internet platforms. And while web hosting can get more expensive as you store more things and more video, website services like Format, WordPress, Squarespace, Wix, and others don't control what you put on your site or who sees it. So, why does it matter that email and the web are non proprietary? First, any email address can reach any other email address, and any browser, like any browser, can see any website on the public internet. So you don't need to have Facebook Messenger to talk to people on Facebook Messenger and messages and Signal and WhatsApp and Telegram. You could just send messages to your friends and family via email because everyone's got an email. You don't need Facebook or Instagram to share pictures with your friends. You can just post them on your website and send them a link. You can even password protect a page if you don't want that content on the open web. Next, because nobody owns email or the web, you don't need to support the rapacious, mendacious tech assholes and their surveillance systems. Your personal communications don't become fodder for AI training or targeting ads. Also, nobody can influence which emails appear in your inbox. You can unsubscribe from or block newsletters. You can flag spam. You can actually see email from your friends because there's no algorithm to serve up rage bait instead. Or, hey, you looked at an email from a friend and now there's a whole bunch more email from them. That doesn't happen unless it's actually them sending email. In that case, you can just tell them to stop. At this point, it's basically a cliche to say that social media has been an utter disaster for the human species. Yeah, I don't need to participate in that. And social media is the new smoking, not just because it's bad for you. It's worse than smoking in that you're kind of forcing everyone else to smoke because of the corrosive impact that social media has on our culture and politics. And I don't want to support that. And I remember when I first started using Facebook almost 20 years ago now, my feed was just my friends, pictures of a party, a hike, a vacation, I mean, I can kind of do without vacation photos if I'm honest, but and now on Facebook or Instagram, how often do you see posts from your friends? And that was kind of the whole point of these things to start with. Now, there's no shortage of articles and think pieces and YouTube videos about how people don't actually post on social anymore, and people are kind of going away from it. The numbers are dropping in terms of new subscribers. What is an AI slop or bots posting or influencers and ads and scams? You know, there isn't much left. And I just want to connect with my friends outside of the shouty, scammy, collective cry for attention that is social media. Now, this might sound like an old person scolding you to eat your vegetables, but I think it's more like offering you a home cooked meal at a friend's house over fast food delivery from Uber Eats. Working in the tech industry, I tried out every new platform as they were available: Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr. And I watched the quality of communications degrade as the messages got shorter and shorter, and the pace of content creation got faster and faster. Faster than we can think and absorb information. Certainly faster than we can reflect and integrate information. And for me, the vibe on all these platforms started to get kind of crappy long before actual enshittification started to happen. When I deleted my Facebook and Twitter accounts in 2018, the issues of reduced attention spans, eating disorders among young women, and surveillance were just beginning to emerge. But posting on social already felt pretty snarky and combative. People raging over discussions of TV and video games, things like Gamergate, women getting attacked online over a video game review just seems insane to me. And especially Twitter just felt like, even before it became X, it just felt like there was an implied kind of "so fuck you" at the end of every tweet. I just spent the afternoon feeding ice cream to child cancer patients, so fuck you. This is really the vibe, but now extreme language, ideas, speed, hot takes, attention-seeking behavior, that's all social media is now. And I don't want that in my life. Like this is not choosing content over not content, or taste or anything. This is a life choice. What's more is you can actually do all the same things with email and websites that you can do on social media. You can share files and photos. You can share links with one person or many people. You can create distribution lists and for your family, or just email one person at a time. And if an email exchange starts going back and forth, have a phone call. Your phone still does that, and it's nice hearing the voices of people you love. It's not scary. You can hear how they're feeling. The conversation is much richer. You can connect with them, even though it's only over the phone, or FaceTime if you actually want to look at people. You can do everything you can do anywhere else, except maybe it's just not that fast, and maybe that's a feature. It takes slightly more intention. You're not doom scrolling. There's no manipulation of your reward and dopamine system, just human to human contact and communication. So we could be throwing out some of the network effect baby with the social media bathwater. I think there's an obvious bit of a trade-off here, but I think this is why the analogy to vinyl records is a good one. I admit that I'm obviously on YouTube, mostly because of the cost, which is zero, and the network effects are very valuable. Sure, I'd love to have my content on Vimeo or Nebula, but I don't have that kind of following yet. So I make YouTube videos for the reach, but I'm committed to the offline world and my relationships first. Purity isn't on the menu on the internet in late stage capitalism. So in a different context, Rebecca Solnit said in a recent interview, everything we can save is worth saving. Everything we can do is worth doing. We've already lost a lot, but we don't have to lose everything. And I think that goes for your attention span, your privacy, and your participation in the giant open air grift that is social media. Thanks for listening. See you next time.